watch us.
Well, welcome everyone to YouTube Live or Truth Bomb Live. Wow, words are hard. Maybe I'm going to stumble over myself again like we did last time, but it's cool. We're just having fun and we're talking about how rich women have more fun in their business. Who doesn't want to talk about that? I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. Enjoying the moment. And in case we haven't met, my name is Karen Angeli. I'm one of the co-founders here inside of Truth Bomb Marketing. And my specialty is just getting to the heart of having more fun with what you're doing, playing your way to success and enjoying the moment as much as you can.
Excellent. Oh, I'm a Heidi Muma.
She was like, excellent. If you're not watching, she's just has her hands up going, excellent.
My name is Heidi Muma, and I love to show people how to ensure that they are taking profit in their business, because what is more fun than getting paid and getting bonuses and special trips because you manage your money right.
Yeah, because business is about getting paid, right?
It is.
It is.
It is.
So my name is Chef Katrina. I'm also one of the co-founders and co-creators of Truth Bomb Academy and our premier course, Unlocking My Millions, where we literally teach women to have fun in business. We give them the tools and training to unlock their millions in their business ideas, their finances, their marketing. I love systems around like getting you simplified in your business so that it's automated. It does all the heavy lifting for you. So you're not burdened by all the crazy crap it is around running a business, because it's easier than we think it is. And I think women, we typically try to make it harder. Actually, human beings in general try to make everything harder. So let's add some fun. Because I think when you talk about what do rich women do that's different from just being an entrepreneur, it's that rich women put in systems. Rich women actually create the ability to have time and money. And then they take that money and they reinvest it into residual income streams. And I think that's the missing. It's like we get into business to get paid. And yet for some reason as women, we don't pay ourselves.
That's really sad too, because it's really fun when you're like, hey, it's payday. Like, who doesn't want payday? Like, come on now, people.
Right. Do women even, I mean, I'm asking to our audiences, I really wanted to ask this. Do women, as a female entrepreneur, do you schedule a payday for yourself? Like, do you actually have it where you're paying yourself either weekly or bi-monthly, just as if you had a job? Like, are you paying yourself? Because I think it's one of the interesting things is that I find is that most women don't. They don't have a scheduled payment system. It's just when the money comes in, that's when they get paid.
Yeah, I think before I really dove into this different cash management system, I was like, first of all, as I was told, you have to reinvest in your business for a certain amount of time to build up your business so that your business grows. And it's like, and that's all fine and dandy, but it's like, I never actually considered actually paying myself. Sometimes what I would do is I would, it's like, and then you get creative with your accounting systems, right? You pay. So instead of actually taking a paycheck, you would pay bills that you can make, so you had a service or whatever, all of a sudden you can make it be your business, because it technically can be a business expense. And so instead of paying yourself per se, I'll just pay this bill with the business's money. And it's like, so it becomes a business expense. And that's their creative way of, well, that was, I think in my head, I was like, that was my pay, because instead of me paying that bill, the business paid that bill. But that's not the same.
Oh, I can't tell you.
That is not the same.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen.
But I think that was my way of the business taking care of some things, but it wasn't actually paying me. And the funny thing is, it's like, as much as people say, it's like, you can get super creative and make like so many things creatively, you can make almost everything a business expense.
Right off.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love doing that. But at the same time, you do have to show an income, because it's like, and because it's what I found out was, if you don't show an income for like 3 or more years, the government's going to, instead of giving you the business benefits, it's going to become a hobby. and you lose a lot of the business advantages. So that's something to, I learned that from my accountant. I was like, oh, that hurts.
That's not pretty. No,
not
nobody
pretty.
wants to do that.
This isn't a hobby. This is a lot of work for a hobby.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing too. I remember my CPA told me that too. It's like, if you're not taking profit, if you're not actually making money in your business, it's considered a hobby. Like, and you can't keep your EIN number. You don't get to keep all the benefits. You don't get to keep the tax write-offs. So
that's no bueno.
It's no bueno.
That's no bueno. So profit is important, and it's like writing things off is fantastic, but you do have to show an income. You do have to show profit.
Yeah.
And
it's important.
But I love being creative with writing things off. That's
oh
fun.
my gosh. So just totally
so
like
fun.
Still on topic, but off topic at the same time. In case anybody doesn't know, I was about to say moonlight at the hospital, but it's just
I like that.
The hospital's my side hustle, that it's just like I'm there for the fun of it. And I say that when I'm there too, but I have a coworker that he gets paid 100% 1099. So one thing that he does is anytime he goes on vacation, anytime, like he could be going, it doesn't matter where he's going, okay? He's going anywhere. And how he writes it off is he goes and he has an interview set up at any hospital that's around, and he has an interview at that hospital. And then as a result, he's like, I talked about having a job, so I'm writing it off.
Yep. You literally, I think it's like 3 days before and 3 days after, something like that, of what your business event can be written off.
Yeah.
So it's like you schedule them strategically, and you're all like, you could travel your entire life. I mean,
absolutely.
Frankly,
let's be honest. It just makes me laugh.
Oh yeah. I loved the creativity of how people paid their children. And it was a complete, like, it was a complete write-off for the company. The kids don't have to claim it. And so it was just up to a certain amount, I believe. And I don't know all the ins and outs about that, but it was, heard so many people talk about it and so many people do it. And I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I think that book that I've talked about before that is escaping me right now, he's the CPA for Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
But he talks about that. Tax-free wealth. Yeah.
We have it. So it's on our list to read.
Oh, it's so good. And he will give you some insight as to how to do stuff like that. It's like, it's so good. So ladies, if you're watching, definitely pick up that book and check it out. It will probably make you go, oh, I didn't know I could do it that way. That's fun. Okay, let's do that.
I mean, I did pay my kids, like when they would do projects with me, because we did renovation, like apartments and stuff, and they would come and paint and do a whole bunch of stuff for me, and I paid them like hourly.
Sure. Yeah.
But I love the people that's like, it's like, I don't know, they get super creative with the like filing and everything, like different little things that I'm just like, I really could have taught them how to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the one interesting thing about being a female entrepreneur. When you do have children that are of age to help you out and do things like that, like, why not? And I think so many times women try to, and I hear this a lot. I remember going through a lot of workshops, and they would be like, well, have your kids do this and don't incorporate them into your business and don't show them what you're doing. It's like, your business is over here, your family is over here. And I think that's like honestly, I think it's one of the worst things you can do, because I think the idea of incorporating and showing your kids what it is you're building in your business and how you're building it, and building that awareness and that business mindset is a real big piece of their life. And then to know how to use that as a tax advantage. Hello, it's like it's doing double the work and you're making out on both sides. You're getting the help you need. You know, I hear so many times, I hear this all the time from women. And I love hearing this. They're like, oh yeah, I've got my son or daughter that knows all about technology and they can help me build the website, or they can help me get on social media, or can do this. It's like, if you set it up as a job for them where you're paying them, it's actually a tax write-off for you, and it gives them a viable business skill that they can take forward. Yeah. So the thing is like, when I hear women say that now, and I wish I had known all of this, 10 years ago when I got started and I was helping so many different female entrepreneurs, because this is really that difference of combining and blending business with your personal life. And you start to see an overlap and you start to intertwine this. And that actually makes more holistic sense for how women run business.
Well, and it's not just teaching your kids and showing your kids business. It's actually I was been researching like different, as I'm doing SEO and researching keywords and stuff, and I'm looking up cash flow and looking up business plans and stuff, and I found, like, especially I was looking up cash flow and cash management and things like that. I kept coming up with several articles about how people do not have conversations around finances. Couples don't.
That's
Families
weird.
don't. It's like
I
a
can't even
taboo.
imagine this.
I
That's
know.
so
It's like
weird.
a taboo topic for so many people. It's like you talk about this, but you don't talk about finances or politics or whatever. And I'm just like, it's like, I mean, granted, we were not perfect around our finances and everything, but our kids heard us talking, heard different things, and I physically, I mean, of course, and being homeschooled, they also it was part of their curriculum, financial education and stuff. But it was like, it's something we talked about. And sometimes I don't even know that it was intentional. But then I heard my daughter, she was talking because she's looking into possibly going to starting a business, and her understanding of the finances and the business structure. And I was just like, I'm looking at myself, I was like, wow, you picked up a lot. And I was just like, just being around a family that was building a business and not necessarily being extremely intentional about teaching them, but not being closed off either.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I'm grateful for the knowledge that I received from my dad, because he was a dentist. He retired years ago at this point, but he would bring me in on some things. Like, he would kind of clue me in on some things as to how he ran his business. For me, like, he always, like, and this isn't money related, but he always talked about how and it kind of is money related, but it isn't. But if you want to keep people happy in your business, if you're the employer, you pay them well. You take care of them. You take them on trips. Okay. Like, he literally would take people to Hawaii, Alaska, and the business would pay for it. So
nice.
he's getting himself a write-off. His people are happy as hell, and they're going to stay with him forever. So a lot of the stuff that I've learned as a kid from watching him, it's priceless. And he paid me to be in his business also, because I did some desk keeping stuff. It was great for me because it was my first job. It helped me kind of understand how to have an employer, because I do think that it's important to understand both sides of it, how to be a boss and how to be an employee, how to actually connect with people in a working environment, right? So there's a lot of skill sets that I learned from him as a result. And then when he sold his business, he didn't show me the whole draw up plan, but he was like, this is how much money that I will be making as a result now of selling my business, plus what I'll be making for the next XYZ years. And like, he was very intentional about saying that kind of thing, because I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just like, I'm just going to tell you because I'm going to tell you, but it was really influential in helping me as a business owner to understand that if I decide I don't want to do something anymore, if I decide, hey, like, this isn't working, like, I love this, but I also want to do this, I can sell that business to someone else and be okay with where that business goes. Because there was parts of him, though, I will say, that as he watched this other person take over his business, where he was just like, ooh, I wouldn't do it that way.
Oh, yeah. That's right there. And no matter what business you're like,
and he did feel that way. But at the end of the day, he's like, it's not mine anymore. And he was like, I did sell it. Like, that was my retirement. And he did that on purpose. And so for him, like, he not only sold his practice, he also sold the building that practice was built in. So he made a lot of money off of that deal. And what I love about my dad, this is so off topic. I'm sorry, but I feel like at the same time it is on topic.
Oh, it's totally on topic.
Yeah. What I love about my dad is he literally came from a place where as a child, he couldn't rub two pennies together. Like literally his mom died when he was 5 years old. His dad, once she died, completely checked out, didn't really pay much attention to him. He's told stories where teachers would call home and be like, hey, your son needs a bath. Like his dad just completely checked out. So my dad and his brothers, like his brothers really raised him at the end of the day. They would literally like buy shoes until there were so many holes that they just couldn't wear them anymore. It was just, he lived that life. But what he created gives me chills because, oh, I'm going to cry because he's an amazing man, but he took an experience that didn't serve him and realized he wanted more for his life. And that's what being an entrepreneur can create. That's what he did for himself and what he did for his family. And to be honest, it wasn't easy for him either. He struggled for a long time. I remember my parents tell me the story. I didn't really know this because I wasn't around, but they always talk about before children, they struggled in their business. They struggled trying to make it work. But then once we came along, it was like there was this shift that happened and then it just exploded. And it was just like, it just rained at that point, basically. Like they had to like, okay, we can't take any more patients, like that kind of thing. And he created that.
Yeah.
And so I look at what he did with his entrepreneurial journey, and he may not even see himself as an entrepreneur. He sees himself as a dentist. But at the end of the day, a dentist still needs to have some sort of business knowledge, right? Because unless they're taking a business and they're working for somebody, and they
Right.
that could be the case too. But I just am so grateful for his knowledge and know-how that he gave me in so many ways. And I think like how this can be relatable is just look at your own life. Who can you look at and kind of emulate? Who can you say, damn, they didn't have it going on, but then they did. They made it work. And what was it that made that happen? What was the energy that they started putting out? What was the frequency that they started feeling? I truly believe that whenever my parents finally did have kids, because they couldn't have kids for 10 years, I think that shift, that happiness and joy of being like, we can have kids now, that's what the shift was for them. I can't really say. I didn't live their life. I don't know. But I think that shift of just feeling so good, that's what creates that rich woman, the having fun. And this is the reason that this for me is more important than anything. Enjoying the process, no matter what's coming in, no matter how it looks, no matter what's going on at the end of the day. And just having fun in the journey is what creates at the end of the day. So.
And I think it's really interesting too, and this is for what I hear a lot around just women too, is that I think women are extremely motivated because of family. Family has the ability to change lives, whether you're inviting a partner into your life, whether you're getting married, getting into a relationship, having children. It is a life motivating piece. There are things that you would probably never have done or never do if it wasn't for the situations you were in or the people that you were connected to or the need to, provide for your family. Because there's an innate just drive, especially amongst men, to take care of other people. Like they really do want to just take care of their family. And so when something doesn't go right, that's why they always say the love of a good woman will change a man. And vice versa, the love of a good man will change a woman, because together we play off of each other. And there was, I remember way back when, I think it was earlier this year or last year, we were watching a series. It was like, if you are always in a place of trying to out gratitude your partner, like somebody in your life, if you're always the one that's like, man, I so love, and like you just do things that are just it's not about like an upmanship, but it's just like always an awareness, like an appreciation for the people in your life. If you're in constant appreciation and if you're just always challenging yourself to appreciate that person a little bit more, and find those things, that's really what starts to shift for people. So the relationships are big. And when you look
Absolutely.
at that as a rich woman, right? Because a rich woman, it doesn't necessarily mean just rich financially. You're rich in areas of your life, in all areas of your life, right? I would think that ideally you want to be rich in your family life. You want to be rich in your health. You want to be rich in your recreation. You want to be rich in your spirituality. I think those all play a big key to being a rich woman. It's not just the financial, but the financial is tied into an energy, and that energy, when you have that abundance, when you have that sense of paying yourself first, when you have this sense of being able to pay your employees, I think that shifts everything for a lot of women.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, and just like the other piece of it too, you talked about the gratitude piece, being grateful, no matter what, like if it's a small amount or a big amount that you pay yourself, like literally dancing around the house and going, look at what I just manifested. I do that because it continues to create more.
Right.
It makes me so happy too. I literally, it doesn't matter what comes in. And the wildest thing, because this is what's been happening in my life not recently, this year, honestly, because this is something that I've been practicing, is being so grateful and excited when the big or the little amounts of money, and it could be anything, but we're talking about money in this circumstance, just being like, oh my God, look at what I manifested. And so as a result, I've manifested thousands of dollars this year from I don't even know where. Like the last one that just came in, my husband and I, we were like dumbfounded. We're like, how does this happen? And we're just dancing and laughing. And we're like, look at what we did. That's fucking beautiful. That's literally at the end of the day, what helps you as a rich woman also to keep your money. And this is something,
so important.
If nobody's ever heard of him before, he's truly inspirational. Kevin Trudeau, he talks about this. Okay. So look him up. You can find him on Spotify. Okay. His program is called Your Wish is Your Command. Okay. Listening to that, I was like, yes, he's so on point. Yes, he's so on point, because he talks about if you're feeling a frequency of lack, go on vacation and have fun. That's not a normal thought, right? Normally people are like, oh my God, I have to worry about my money. I can't go on vacation. I can't do this. I can't do that. But if you are choosing to enjoy as you're building your business, this is how you keep your money too.
Yeah.
And this is also how you lose money if you're not doing these things, if you're not taking care of your mind along the way, if you're not focusing on what you're grateful for. And if you find yourself, because this is where I found myself this morning, I found myself in a train in my mind. I was doing my meditation this morning, found myself in this cycle, didn't love it, finished the meditation and went, I'm going to go again. Literally was like, I'm going again. I'm doing this again because I'm not feeling it. I didn't change. I didn't overcome my environment, my body, or time. And I knew it. And so I decided to go again. And what happened was truly miraculous, because literally right now I'm like on top of the world. It doesn't matter because I feel so good. Doesn't matter what's going on around me. And that's the piece of the puzzle. And Kevin Trudeau talks about this. That's the piece of the puzzle that is more important than the money has to come from here. This is how it has to come. A lot of times we get so specific with how it comes in. We think, because a lot of these money manifestors out there are telling us that we have to have SMART goals and we have to say, this is where it's going to come from. You're controlling the situation. Let it
Surrender.
go.
Surrender.
Let that go. Just go, you know what? I don't care where it comes from. I'm going to enjoy this process. And I have a friend, we were talking yesterday. She was like, I'm playing this game right now of what if I could get that for free? And I was like, I friggin' love that. I'm stealing it. And she goes, what else can I get for free? What else can I get for free? And she literally is manifesting things from nowhere as a result. This is the process, guys. Like, if you want to know how to love your life, start playing and having fun. That, at the end of the day, that's the creative genius that happens.
Yeah. And everything else will fall into that. Yeah. And the other thing too, it's like I've been doing, like you've been doing around cash management. I've been doing research around female entrepreneurship. So one of the things that I kept bumping up against, I was like, why does all the information end at 2019? Like all the information in business ends at 2019. I'm like, ugh, why? And then I realized that's when the US Census was done. So when we do the US Census every year and we ask everyone to kind of submit it and just kind of, complete your census, that gives us the most up-to-date information. So a lot of the information, and I think it's done every 5 years, 10 years. So like we won't see some of the big jumps until like 2029. Will we see like another one again? But the other great company that I've been following is American Express. And American Express, because they're so business oriented and small business oriented, they've been putting out a lot of really good information around female entrepreneurship. And we're still in a what they call an uneven, or what do they call it? Pay bias, or whatever they want to put out there. And it's interesting because they say like there's this pay gap between us. And I actually don't believe the gap actually exists. I think the gap isn't something that is outside of us. I think a lot of the gap has to do with how women think about money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's, one of the big things that we deal with as women, and especially because we're teaching this in Unlocking My Millions, is that women don't know their value, that they don't know how to price products. They want to be of such service that they don't want to overprice and not make their product available. And that's one of the big concerns. I think that's one of the reasons why they say, women are, receive half the funding of men do, because we don't ask enough. Just to be honest, women don't ask for the funding we actually need.
Well, when they're pricing their products incorrectly, you're not being able to show the bank the value of your company too.
Yeah. And so it's like, but the thing is like, if you don't ask for the 600,000 because you only need 40,000 to get started, like you don't give yourself a cushion. And women are notorious for this. Because we've been so trained to be given an amount of money that we can spend on the household, we can spend on the kids, we can spend anywhere, because that's what we had to deal with. Up until 60 years ago, we were given money, and that amount of money was all we could spend. Can you believe it's only been 60 years since women could open up a bank account and actually have their, like they called it, if you guys have been watching any of the historical TV shows, they call it like pin money. Like you were actually given an allowance as a female to go out and spend, right? And so I think it's interesting is that we still carry that mentality forward. So it is the rewiring of that. And it's trusting ourselves to ask for more than just what we need or what we should have. I know that should word again.
It should.
Shitting all over the place. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to shit all over you.
You're allowed to use words. Like nobody said you can't use a word. It's just realizing how you're using it. So let's be honest.
But it's very interesting when you look at what is the wiring around money that's different between the men and the women just generationally. And that's what we're looking to rewire, so that we've come in and we have all this information and we have all this money that's available for women in business. And yet we have our own roadblocks. We've literally put up our own roadblocks to getting the money that we want. And it's self-created. And no woman wants to admit that to themselves, but you're literally creating your own roadblock to your financial success. Your ability to create and have money, because I know that generationally and culturally across the board, there are exceptions to everyone. There will be the female millionaires that are out there that are totally crushing it and have access to information that majority of us don't. And then it's learning that it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for more money. It is okay to understand your pricing and product. It's okay to project into the future what you want to create. It's okay to dream for yourself. I think that's been the best part. We've been doing Time Magic 2024, helping women plan what next year is going to look like for them. And I swear, every time we get to the dreaming section, it's like, what am I dreaming about this year? Right. Even now, I've been doing this for 4 years and I got to
That's
that
hilarious.
like,
I can't stop dreaming. That's hilarious. Okay. Okay.
well, because one of the things that I bumped up against, and this is constantly the at work that I do, my inner
Yeah.
is allowing myself to dream for myself, because I always tend, and I've always said this, I'm the chameleon, right? I'm that middle child. So I blend back and forth between, I'm a Pisces too. So I swim both ways. So I'm always somebody that goes with the flow. So I'm never one to just swim my own direction. I'm not the sparkly, I haven't been the sparkly, shiny, totally obnoxious fish in the water, which I am now, by the way. And that is like creating your own path. So instead of just going with the current, it was the first time sitting down this year and being like, what is it that I truly want for myself? Like at the heart. And I love how you created this inside of Time Magic 2024, is that we start off with getting heart-centered.
Absolutely.
And I hear so many women saying they want to create a heart-centered business. And yet I don't think women understand what heart-centered is. Like we hear it and we're like, that's cool. I want a heart-centered business, right? As opposed to having a financial business, or they think it's a softer way of being in business. But the reality is that business is business. It's made to make you money, to create a lifestyle, to like all of that is in play, right? Like that's how we should look at this. But when you say it's a heart-centered business, are you like, have you actually done the work to self, to be in your heart, to create from your heart? And I
to
love
open your heart.
To open your heart, right?
That's the number one goal, to first open it, because a lot of us women have gone through life and we maybe have traumas or things have been said to us or whatever, and we close our heart down as a result.
Oh,
and so, yeah, so we close off our ability to create more. And I'm here to tell you, the more you open your heart, I'm getting massive chills right now.
Me too.
As I'm saying this, but the more you open your heart, the more possibility comes your way. The more you choose, because it's a choice every single day, every single moment, every single second, to keep your heart open.
Yeah.
And it isn't easy. I'm here to tell you, I've definitely had days where I'm like, nope, don't want to talk about it. Can't handle this right now. But I notice those thoughts and I go, you know what? I could keep getting stuck in this cycle in my head, or I could choose to say, that's not serving me. I'm going to go again in my meditation until I let that go. Yeah. And I did, you know, like, and that's the process of just letting go.
And the thing is, to get back to the heart center, I think so many women, I think this goes back to pricing and what's difference between a rich woman, and I mean rich in all areas of life, is that a rich woman doesn't look at not opening her heart. Really, it is about opening your heart. It's about understanding that you don't have to drop your prices to be accepted or to get your foot in the door. And I think that's the big thing, is that a heart-centered business doesn't mean you don't ask for the price in which you are needing to run the business, right? And there's a formula for pricing your products and services that we recently uncovered, because I've been through tons of training. And when we actually stumbled across it with like an accident. I was like, oh, what if we did this for this product? And I was like, oh no, we're not. No, that's no, like we're not pricing it at that. Like that's silly based on what we just saw. And I think we're probably one of the first, or probably one of the few women that have out there that have really taken this money management cash system and not only applied it to the business, but also applied it to product pricing. And when you can look at it from what is the item that you're selling, and are you getting paid to produce and everything else, this item, like, are you actually getting paid? And then when you see that number, because I remember the first time we were sitting there and like, we looked at that number, I said, I don't think I'd go and do that for that amount of money. Like it was so small, right? Based on the expenses and everything else. Like we put expenses as like, that's the priority. But when we flipped the script and looked at like, what do we want to get paid? And then we looked at the number, I was like, no, that makes more sense. Like that's the price we have to charge. Like to do anything less is actually detrimental to the business. And when you open your heart and you open that up, it's like you're actually allowing yourself to say, this money is allowed to come into my life. Right? Like you start to build not only your outward love for people, but I would promise you, if you're asking for prices that you actually need for your business and you keep your heart open, there isn't a person in the world that won't pay you for that. It's arbitrary. Like you're making crap up.
Because money is made up, let's be honest.
It's completely man-made.
They just keep printing it.
I mean, that's the thing. Like we put so much energy on it. I need it. I need it. I need it.
And you don't.
And you don't. And it's so funny. And the more that you just kind of let go and surrender to the fact that money doesn't equal stress, money doesn't equal lack, you actually go, well, what could I get for free? Like, what would happen if you started saying that to yourself? What could I get for free? Or what could I manifest as far as money's concerned? And I'm not kidding you when I say thousands of dollars have been manifested by myself and my husband this year as a result of playing that game. Because it's a game, guys.
It is.
Like, let's stop taking that money game so seriously. It's
just money. I need it right there.
The game is much more fun.
The game is way more fun. That's the play. That's the ability to play in the game and understand that it is a game, and you can laugh and giggle and play the game.
And dance around the house like a complete moron, and your dogs are staring at you. That's what we do, though. I mean, maybe not my husband, because he's a little less exuberant than I am, but that's what I do, because I'm like, look, manifested.
I was pretty good at that scissor thing.
Yeah, that scissor.
Oh,
I tried that. That didn't work.
Flossing.
Yes. I had to have
that was entertaining.
Yeah, Matthew had to teach me that. It took me a minute, but once I got it. You can't forget it once you learn it.
No. Burned into my skull.
Very entertaining. Fantastic videos.
Yes. Yeah, there is evidence.
There is evidence.
That's all out
It was
there.
a little dark, but there's evidence.
Yeah, that was a nightlight. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So, I mean, I love this conversation around how rich women have fun in business, because it really, I think this conversation, for those that have joined us, and if you're just wanting to catch the replay and see what we've shared so far, you can definitely follow us over on YouTube. If you're here on YouTube, thanks for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. So comment. We like the engagement, because we are all about helping women become millionaires and live lives of fun, play, and ease.
And to be honest, like, we all are like currently in our business working on this too. Everything that we've said, I'm not saying that we're all masters at it. We haven't figured it out. We still have days too, just like you do, where we're like, oh, hell.
Oh, hell.
But no, I just had that. Yes. No. It was the day before. That was a no hell day. Yeah.
Yep. But you notice those days and you go, that doesn't define me. That's a choice. That's a choice I can overcome right now. And that's a choice that I can let go of. And so as you're building your business, I encourage you to ask yourself every single day, how am I showing up? Is this how a happy, successful, excited, high on life, rich woman would show up? If the answer is no, maybe you want to sit with yourself for a minute, figure it out, journal. I don't care how you do it. Meditate, journal, get hypnotized. I don't care how you do it. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's realizing that feeling comes from you and you alone, from your heart, from this place right here that's right there. And I will tell you, once you start opening up your heart, it is scary, because you do open yourself up to a lot of things. But you can also, when you open up to a lot of things, you can say, is that the frequency that I want to be open to? And you can say, that's not my energy, that's someone else's. And you can also say, I want to increase the frequency, because as you increase your frequency, everyone else around you does the exact same thing. And when I talk about frequency, I'm talking about your feelings, okay? Had somebody ask me that question inside of Truth Bomb Academy recently, where she's like, you talk about frequency. What's frequency? And I was like, oh yeah, I probably should explain this. Your frequency, that higher vibration, that's your emotional level. How are you feeling on a moment-to-moment basis? That is how you increase when you hear people talking about high vibe or increasing your frequency or everything is energy and having emotional intelligence, having a high energy, a high emotional level towards it. And when you know, and this is truly emotional intelligence, when you can notice a feeling that's not serving you and you can ask yourself, this is how you know you're self-aware. You can ask yourself, is this serving me? Nope, it's not serving me. And then your refractory period, the time that you stay in that emotional frequency that's not serving you, the refractory period of how long it takes you to get to a higher vibrational place, a higher emotional place, that's when you know that you have a high emotional intelligence. That's how you know that you're like, okay, I can see the emotion, decide I don't want to stay there anymore, and decide to change it, and then watch to see what kind of magic I create as a result. That is where the magic happens. So, as we all know, I could talk about this for days.
Oh, we could talk all about this for days. I mean, this is all built into everything we talk about inside of Unlocking My Millions, which, by the way, I actually have the binder with me. It's weird. I have this Unlocking My Millions.
And it's sparkly because Heidi is all about the sparkles. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm all about the sparkles too. So, yeah.
We like, look, I have sparkles in my hair.
But if you want to know more about how to get Unlocking My Millions and what it is, and you're like, I want a little more information about that, then we do have a Female Millionaire Code workshop that's coming up this Thursday. I believe if you're on the YouTube channel with us, it'll be down below in the description. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe. And the description will be down there. And then for those of us that are on Clapper that are joining us, I believe it's up in our bios. You can find the link there and then just get registered for this because it's really an interactive workshop around the Female Millionaire Code, and it dives into a little bit deeper of the 3 things that we talked about what really rich women do to unlock true happiness, financial freedom, and sanity. Like sanity is like who doesn't want to keep their sanity while building the business? So yeah. All right. So with that, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you again here on YouTube live on Truth Bomb. Because that's what we do. We drop truth bombs for female entrepreneurs. Oh, no, we don't give thumbs up. That's on our podcast. Do we give thumbs up?
YouTube.
No, YouTube.
On YouTube, like thumbs up.
I don't know what
like
I'm doing.
So we can share this information with more female entrepreneurs.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. That's what she's saying.
Button.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. Smash.
Yes.
Did you like how I threw that into my video last week? I was like,
I did. Did you like the effect that was chosen for that as well? That was fun. That took me a while to figure out too, but I got it.
I love it. Oh, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us here live. As always, we enjoy this conversation. Keep asking questions, keep tuning in, and we'll see you next week here live on Clapper and YouTube. So bye, everyone.